بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. Infuse your hearts and minds and sessions with a loud salawat for Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Our topic tonight is about an important social phenomena in the human society that unfortunately has become during the last few decades as a common trend, not only in non-Muslim communities but also within Muslim communities too. And that is the phenomena of divorce. Divorce and the disintegration of families, falling apart. In some countries, in some states, these rates are ever increasing, are skyrocketing. And of course, divorce should not be a stigma because sometimes it's necessary. And this is why God allowed it to happen. Maybe in other religions, some religions, they would not allow divorce. But we have it in Islam. And we must have it. Because God does not want for a person to get stuck in a relationship which is meaningless, which is fruitless, which is destructive. Allah says you have to find a solution. So we should not shame those who get involved in divorce. It happens. It could happen to you, God forbid, to your son, to your daughter, to your cousin, to your friend. It happens. Because sometimes there is no other solution. That's the only solution. But then to see this phenomena getting widespread and very common and very acceptable, this is the problem. It's becoming a norm nowadays, not exceptions. When you see at certain societies where the rate gets to 70% per year, meaning out of 100 person who marry this year, next year by this time, by today, next year, 70 of them, they get divorced. That's horrible. That's very alarming. Family is one of God's greatest blessing for the humanity. One of God's greatest gifts to the humanity. The healthy family. A healthy, harmonious, strong family would definitely produce harmonious community, harmonious country, strong countries, and vice versa. When families are broken, they are not taken care of, definitely it would affect the societies and the countries too. So not only economy, strong economy is necessary to strengthen the country, but also strong family too. Otherwise, only strong economy would not help. It would not bring joy and prosperity. Because Islam and religion and humanity is not about coins and notes and money and currency. It's about the human souls. It's about the dignity of a human soul. So how to prevent divorce? There are ways. Is it possible? Yes. Yes, if we follow these ways and these steps, it's possible to reduce, maybe not completely eliminate, but definitely you can reduce the rate of divorce if we follow these steps. Step number 1, before you get married, for those who are still single, before you get married, you need orientation on marriage, on the meaning of marriage, on the meaning of being a husband or being a wife, on the rights and responsibilities and the duties that you have to do. You have to recognize them before you get married. We need orientation. We need to read books, articles. We need to go to workshops. I've seen in many places in the country, they have 6 workshops before you go and get married, before you ask for people's daughter's hand. You go and attend these workshops to know the meaning, the essence of marriage. To know what is for you and what is upon you. To know your duties and responsibilities as well as your rights. If you go blindly to marry, not knowing your rights and your responsibilities, that is one of the major reasons that leads into separation and divorce and misunderstanding. So being aware of your responsibilities and your role and your limits would significantly reduce the rate of divorce. We need counseling, family counseling, marriage counseling, not only for those who are newlywed, not only for those who want to marry, but even for those who are married. From time to time, we have to be reminded. Even if you have been married for 20, 30, 40 years, you still need counseling. You still need to hear about your duty as a husband, as a wife, as parents. We need to be reminded. Sometimes we forget. It's like when you go to school 30 years ago and you study some theories, you study science. After 20, 30 years, you forget. You have to remind yourself. We need these counseling sessions. In fact, in every Islamic center, in every church, in every temple, in every religious institution, in every community center, they need marriage counselor nowadays to speak to people, to tell people what is right and what is wrong, to bring people together. This is an art by itself. So we need to take care of these things. Beside marriage counseling, the husband to be, the wife to be, they have to sit together and meet face to face. Not only they should discuss the wedding arrangements, the wedding gown, the party, how many people we are inviting, in what hotel, what type of food we bring, how many courses, not only that. They have to discuss their future. They have to discuss their children. They have to discuss the education of their children. They have to discuss their role. They have even to answer this question. They say, what? What if some misunderstanding happens between me and you? What would you do? Do you call the police first? Do you call your mother first? Or you sit with me and discuss this affair with me first? Do you file for divorce in the court first? Or you wait until رحم الله من ذكر القائم من آل Muhammad. Can you stand and move 2 steps forward, please? 2 steps forward. Make room for the people who are coming. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Also, if sisters can move, make room for those who would come later. If you can move a couple of steps here. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. So these critical issues should be discussed before marriage, not after marriage. They have to have an understanding, mutual understanding about this new venture, about this new turning point in their life. They have to discuss these things. You know what people oftentimes discuss? They discuss wedding arrangements, but they don't discuss marriage. Wedding, it takes 2 days and it's over. After that, you go back to the serious life, to your commitment, to your role, to your responsibility. You have to discuss marriage. You have to discuss every detail of your marriage. Now, maybe sometimes they agree upon things, but that doesn't happen. Never mind, no problem. Maybe God has another plan for them. But you have to discuss these serious issues nowadays. In the past, the old generation, if you ask your mother, your grandmother, how did they get married? They say, well, I had no say in that. My mother, my father, my elder sister, she found me through arranged marriage. She found a partner for me, and I trusted my mother's opinion. Nowadays, the young generation, they don't even consult their mothers. How many of them? 1%, 2% of them? They speak to their parents before marriage? The rest, they don't. Parents are the last one to know about their children's marriage. The last one. They receive the invitation by mail. So then, if this is the case, you don't want your parents to interfere, fine, no problem. Though I disagree with that. But I say at least you have to sit with your future spouse and discuss all the details involved in your marital life. And that would reduce chances of divorce and chances of misunderstanding. You need to speak about everything. Sometimes I do marriage counseling. They come to me for divorce. And the wife, she says such and such and such and such about a long list of complaints about her husband. I tell her, where were you 2 years ago, 3 years ago when you married him? Did you know or not? She tells me, we did not speak about these things. It's your fault then. It's the fault of the wife or the fault of the husband or both when they don't discuss these issues. You have to discuss everything. Financial issues, social issues, moral issues. Sometimes they come to me, one of them is from a different school, different madhab, different religion, different tradition. Now they are married, so either the wife, she wants to convert her husband to her own school, or the husband wants to convert her to his own school, his own tradition. And then you have a conflict here. You have to speak about that. If you don't want to convert your wife, tell her right from the beginning. You stay on your path, I stay on my path. We are friends, we are a husband and wife. I don't interfere in your religious affairs. You don't interfere in my religious belief. Say that from the beginning. You have to agree upon that. Marriage should not be misleading. Marriage should not be ambiguous. Everything should be known about marriage and marital life. So this is to start with. The second step to prevent divorce is good communication. A husband and wife, they should sit and speak to each other all the time. Sometimes a husband abandons his wife. He does not speak to her. He speaks with his friends more. He's interested in sport. Anytime she wants to discuss something important with him, he's watching television, or he's playing games, or he's going out with his friends, or he's sitting in the cafe, or he has something important to do. She doesn't get a chance to speak to him. Marriage is about communication. It's about good communication. It's about healthy communication. So before a problem arises, you have to speak to your spouse. You have to have good channels of communication. You have to have a hotline. Have you heard about hotline between some countries, between some presidents? Every husband and every wife, they have, beside the hot dog that they eat, they have to have hotline too. Hotline of communication, good communication. And choose the good times, not the bad times. Sometimes when you are exhausted and tired, either the wife is tired because she works the whole day, or the husband is tired, they should not communicate. When you are exhausted, don't communicate. When you are tired, when you are angry, when you are frustrated, don't communicate, because that would be miscommunication. When you are relaxed, speak to each other when you are relaxed. Always approach each other. Sometimes when there is a conflict between a husband and wife, they must sit and listen to each other. Listen to each other. Allow the other side to speak. Don't shut them off. Don't consider yourself to be winner always. You are right and your spouse is wrong. This is not right. Allow them to speak their mind. Allow them to express themselves. Respect their opinion. Even if you don't believe in what they say, still respect their opinion. There is an Indian proverb. It says that the man that says sorry when he is wrong is an honest man. And the man who says sorry when he is not sure of something, he says, sorry, I don't know. He's a truthful man. He's a wise man. And a man who says sorry even when he's right, he's a husband. So say sorry even if you are right. Believe me, you are not going to lose anything. Say sorry. If you want to suppress the anger, if you want to suppress misunderstanding and conflict, say sorry. Say sorry. This is your spouse. This is not someone a stranger. This is the mother of your children. This is your friend. This is your partner. She's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And sometimes believe me, she's going to chase you until Akhirah. If you go to paradise, if you go to Jahannam, no, she will change her direction. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And then don't forget, in the marriage, we don't have to be serious all the time. Sometimes you have to have sense of a humor. Not sometimes, every day. Begin your day with a smile. With a smile. Smile to your spouse. When you open your eyes in the morning, rather than frowning, smile. This smile creates miracles, believe me. You don't have to say anything. Smile. Simple smile creates miracles. Brings warmth, intimacy, love, care, respect. Smile. The Prophet ﷺ says, one of the ways, sometimes you don't have money in your pocket to give a poor person. Okay? You can't help, you can't give medicine, you can't give food, but you can give a smile. A smile is charity, an act of charity, sadaqah. Smile. And you can distribute this smile to all people. Those who are rich as well as those who are poor. Give them a smile. Sense of a humor. And then also, one of the things that maybe bring an end to a marriage is when they do not have physical intimacy. Do you know how many times I heard from many wives, they complain that my husband does not touch me. We have no physical relationship. This is her right. This is what the Prophet says. وَأَنْ يُشْبِعَ جَوْعَتَهَا. Satiate her hunger with food and physical intimacy too. Now, if the husband has a problem, there are medications nowadays. There is counselling. There is a treatment. You can't just leave it and say, no, I am depressed. Because there is a human being involved with you. Human being. Respect that a human being. Respect that a human soul. Do not desert them. Do not abandon them. Don't turn your face away from them and say, she can take care of herself. Don't say this. You are responsible. Marriage is a big contract. The biggest contract you sign in your life is your wedding papers, is your marriage with another person. When you take her from her parents' home, you are telling her parents, this is an amana, trust. We are transferring this trust from your house to my house, from your custody to my custody, from your care to my care. It's a promise. It's a moral promise. So you have to fulfill that promise. You have to treat her well. The other thing which is needed to prevent divorce and conflict in the family is respect and honor. The atmosphere of the house should be peaceful atmosphere. Not an atmosphere based on tension. Whenever there is tension in the family, wherever there is tension between the husband and the wife, between the father and the mother, it will take a toll on the children, not just themselves. Children would pay the price. So try to infuse that atmosphere with respect, with honor. That atmosphere should not be toxic. That environment should not be a toxic environment, a volatile environment. It should be a relaxed environment. Your house is your oasis. Oasis of love, of rest, of comfort, of peace of mind, of enjoyment, of happiness. Try to make it like that. Try to respect. Mutual respect, mutual understanding. The husband and the wife are friends, my friend. They are friends, first of all. Before they are husband and wife or father and mother, they should be friends. They should be very intimate friends. Your wife should be your first friend in this life. Your husband should be your first friend. If you want your marriage to survive, marriage is about friendship. It's not just physical intimacy. It's not just material relationship. It is spiritual. God says in the Quran that we blend two souls of the husband and the wife, we blend them together and we put them back into their hearts. So part of your heart is your wife's heart, is your wife's feeling, is your wife's emotion. Same thing with her. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. Both of you protect each other. Both of you are beautiful garments for each other. So that atmosphere should be beautiful, should be nice, should be humble. You know, sometimes when I speak to some couples and they intend to get divorced, I ask about the reason. And the answer comes, there is no love. The love has expired. There is no feelings. We don't love each other. Why they don't love each other? Because there is no respect. When respect ends, there is no more love, believe me. Same day. When you disrespect your spouse, the same day, that's going to be an attack on your love, on your relationship. You know, human beings are incredible in their emotions. In the same day, you can love someone 100% with full throttle. The same very day, you can hate that person at the end of the day. So try to bring respect. When there is respect, it would be followed by love. It would be followed by trust. Many couples, they suffer from what is called emotional deprivation. Sometimes it's physical deprivation. There is no food, there is no drink, there is no shelter, there is no clothing. And sometimes they have all these things, but they don't have emotional shelter. God says marriage is about emotional shelter. خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا. So you can find psychological, emotional shelter. Some people, they have physical shelter. They live together, they eat together, they travel together, they speak to each other, but they don't have emotional shelter. emotional shelter is missing. That love is not going to continue. The basis for marriage and relationship is emotional shelter. They protect each other emotionally. We the human beings, we all yearn for love, for attention, for affection. We want to love others, fall in love with others, and we want others to fall in love with us too. We need attention. Yes, we need attention. Don't think that only those kids, they need attention. Even when you are 20 years old, 40 years old, 80 years old, 95 years old, you still need attention. This is part of who you are. This is part of your emotional, psychological structure. Where do you find this attention? You have to find it with your spouse at home, in the family, not outside the family. If you lack this inside the family, you're going to search about it outside the family. And outside the family, it's a disaster. Disaster. You know why some men, they have affairs, extramarital affairs? Some of them are sick, okay? No problem. But not all of them are sick. Some of them because they don't find attention at home. They don't find respect at home. There is no love, no intimacy at home. So they try to find it elsewhere, which will exacerbate the problem. That will exacerbate the problem even further. So respect is important. Now, some people, when they don't know how to respect, the reason are two reasons here. One reason is because some people, they have a psychological problem. They have some sort of psychological sickness. One of those diseases are called selfishness, egoism. Because that person puts himself before others, so he doesn't respect anyone. They have this feeling of narcissism, afflicted with narcissism, with self-centeredness. He is the only important one in this universe, and other people have no value. He's the top, he's number one, he's the best, he's the most excellent, he's the superior, he's this and that. Self-centeredness. He wants all people to serve him, to help him, to pay him attention, to respect him, but he or she does not want to respect anyone. This is sickness. In that case, there will be a conflict at home. That person is not going to respect his wife. That wife is not going to respect her husband. So this is one reason. The second reason why some people do not know how to respect their spouses is because they did not learn this at home when they were kids. We are the products of our families. We are the products and the design of our parents, the way our parents raised us. If a child sees his father beating his mother every single day, disrespecting his mother, if he sees his mother dealing with his father in incivility, dishonor, then they're going to learn that. And they're going to repeat that in their own marital life in the future, after 20 years or 30 years. They're going to exactly repeat. Believe me, our kids, they are watching us, monitoring us, monitoring every gesture, every sentence we say, every move. And they're going to copy that into their life. So try to teach your children how to respect their future spouses through respecting their mother. Or if you are a wife, respect their father. This is how you teach them. Some of those children who come from families filled with tension, with conflict, with violence, with disrespect, they're going to repeat that with their own families in the future. You know, I've seen some people when they beat up their wives. You know what is his excuse? Believe me, this is not a joke. He says, yes, she deserves because my father used to beat my mother. So just because his father used to beat his mother, he's repeating the same mistake with his own wife. Can you imagine? One of them was telling me, tell her not to yell at me. When I beat her, she has to be silent. Because my mother, when she got beaten by my father, she was always silent. She never complained. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this sickness? It happens, my friends. And sometimes it goes unnoticed. Sometimes people pick up the phone, call the police department, and sometimes they don't. Because they have fear. They live in a culture of fear. A stigma. They don't want even to say to their mothers, to their friends. They hide it. And that will exacerbate the problem. As I said the other day, we have to have zero tolerance for domestic violence. Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. So this is another element. The element of respect. Try to teach your children how to respect others. The most beautiful family is the family that is based on mutual respect. Sometimes don't you see some families, some kids, they really graduate from good families. One of the role models of these families are the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They raise their children in a way which is extraordinary. Many of the companions, they say, when we see Hassan and Hussein, sometimes we don't recognize them by their names. We don't know this is Hassan or Hussein. But we know them through the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they walk. We know that they are special. And then we discover, oh, this is Hassan, this is Hussein. They are the children of Fatima and Ali alayhim as-salam. We have to teach these principles to our children from day one. Sometimes when the mother is pregnant with her baby, you have a big responsibility, mothers. You are the makers of our character, believe me. You have the highest honor in the eyes of God. Because you don't only deliver the baby, you create the baby. You create their character, their personality. So even when you are pregnant with them, be careful of the things you say. Be careful of the things you eat, you drink. We all know that smoking is very dangerous for a pregnant mother. But not only smoking, even saying bad words, even bad thoughts are dangerous too. Be careful of your responsibility because you are the maker of those children. You are preparing them for the future. Another thing that we must prevent, in order for us to prevent divorce, there is another point here. And that is the financial responsibility of the husband. When husbands, they fail in their financial responsibility to sustain their families, families are going to disintegrate. I've seen marriages, I've seen families that fall apart because the husband does not sustain his family. Sometimes bukhl, stinginess. He's mean. He has money. He has money, but he doesn't want to spend his money. He sends his money somewhere else. I've seen this happening. A father who's a breadwinner. His job is breadwinner. God says about the fathers, وَارْزُقُوهُمْ فِيهَا وَاكْسُوهُمْ وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Your job is to feed your children first, is to clothe them, is to be nice to them, is to give them good lessons, talk to them nicely. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Teach your children these principles. But unfortunately, some fathers, they fail in their mission. He has money, he doesn't want to spend. God has a beautiful theory in the Quran about money. How do we spend? God tells you, I tell you the way you spend. The answer is with me. It's in chapter 17. God says when it comes to spending, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ. Do not tie your hands to your chest, to your neck. What does that mean? It means you don't spend at all. ولا تجعل يدك مغلولة إلى عنقك ولا تبسطها كل البسط فتقعد ملوما محسورا. Neither stretch it out completely and openly So every penny you collect today, you have to spend it today, and you don't save anything, because otherwise you're going to be blameworthy. Otherwise you're going to be destitute. You're going to lose your asset. You are not going to provide for your family. At the time of need, you have to go and borrow. I know some people, they make good income, good salaries, but still they borrow. Because they are a spendthrift. Overspending is dangerous, my friends. Neither to be stingy and not to give, nor to overspend, nor to lead a life of extravagant. وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. Be moderate. You have money, you have income, spend. But then we have to tell the wives at the same time, do not overburden your husbands with overspending. Don't. Even if you have money, my friends. My sisters, even if you have enough money, that does not mean that you have to throw your money left and right and you do purchases that you really do not need them. Don't do that. This is extravagant. This is israf, excessiveness, which is rejected by the Quran. Today, more than any other time, we are overwhelmed with love for the dunya. We are attached to this dunya. We are enchanted with this lower life. And therefore, rather than following spiritual, moral values, we follow and we chase artificial values in this life. We always compare ourselves to others. This is the life of materialism. Life of materialism is number one, life of consumerism. We consume even if we don't need. Even if we don't need. We collect, we keep collecting. And that is not good. The hadith says, or the dua, Allahumma la taj'al ad-dunya akbara hammina wa la mablagha ilmina. Oh God, do not let all my attention, all my love, all my effort goes for this dunya. Do not make this dunya my ultimate goal, because I have another goal. And that goal is تلك الدار الآخرة. تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. We are a guest here. من في الدنيا ضيف وما في يده عارية. Sometimes I land at certain airports. I rent good cars, fancy cars. And I speed on the freeway. And then I say to myself, listen, after 2 days you have to return this car. So don't be overexcited. This is not yours. You have to drop it. You have to return it back. This is not yours. This is the fact about this dunya. Even if you own the car, even if the car is paid off, the house is paid off, the apartment is paid off, it's not yours. It's a lease. You have to return it. This is what the Prophet says. Man fid dunya dhayf. All of us, we are guests. We checked in now. One day we have to check out. Like a hotel. وَمَا فِي يَدِهِ عَارِيَةٌ. Everything we own today is not ours. Believe me, it's a lease. We have to return it. You're not going to take it with you. You're not going to take it with you. You leave it. You leave everything. All these bank accounts, these assets, these lands, these friends, family members, everything you own. They take you only with a piece of a cloth which is worth only $10 in the market, which is called kafan. No more than that. No more than that. The old Egyptians, when they were buried, they would take their jewelry with them, their gold. They think that they're going to need them in the grave. If they wake up one day, so they have their assets there. That's it. You say bye to everything. When we see Israel, we say bye to all our belongings. They are not ours anymore. So don't capitalize on the dunya. If you have time and energy and talent and intelligence, capitalize for the akhirah. God says, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ. So I say to the sisters and the brothers, both, A happy marital life is based on what? Being reasonable. If I need this, I buy it. If I don't need it, I don't buy it. I give it to someone else who is in need. Who is in need? Don't lead a life of extravagance. Your lifestyle should be reasonable. I would not say deprive yourself. I'm not asking you to be ascetic, zahid, because I'm not zahid myself. But at least we have to be reasonable. Because we have to use our wealth, our money for other purposes, to save the dignity of the humanity, to save the dignity of others. Sometimes I see some women, they have a conflict with their husbands over, you know what? Over a purse. She wants to buy this purse for $5,000 and he says no. And they have a conflict. They have a fight. Now, what if you carry a purse which is worth $5,000? Would that bring your value up in the market? Would that make you a better mother, a better wife, a better servant of God? It wouldn't, believe me. These are artificial values. They have no real values. What really brings your value up in the market of God is when you teach your children honesty. Is when you carry the food that you cooked and you know there is another family who can't afford. You share the food with them. You share the medicine with them. I read a story in the news today. It happened just today in California, in Santa Barbara, California. A Muslim guy. He's only 17 years old. Yesterday was going back from home, from school to home. He sees a purse in the middle of the road. He picks up this purse, he opens it, it has 10,000 American dollars cash in it. In that purse. Are you with me? 10,000 American dollars. He tries to search for the owner, he could not. He takes the purse home, he tells his parents, let's try to see who's the owner. We give it back to him or her. They couldn't. They take the purse to the police department. They give it to the police department. He's only 17 years old. This is the product of his mother. I wish I can go and hug him and kiss him on his forehead. He's my leader. He's my role model. He's a role model for all children. Believe me, this guy, he was taught honesty and a trustworthiness by his mother and his father at home. That is a good mother. That's a good mother. This is a hero. This guy is a hero who finds $10,000 but he does not spend them. You know, high schoolers, they spend their money on drugs, on smoking, on cigarettes, on drinks, on others. But he does not do that. They take it to the police station. We found this on the road. These are the human principles. This guy, he's 17 years old. Believe me, if I am a CEO of any company, I would hire him in my company. He's an asset. He's a human asset. With his honesty, I can leave my wealth, my company with him. So my friends, don't freak out if you can't buy this, if you can't afford that. Don't. We are guests in this life. We are going to leave. What remains here in this life, not the purse that you purchase, or the pair of shoes, or this or that, these accessories. It is what you leave behind, the principles and the values and the lessons you leave behind. They're going to help you on the day of judgment. So this is another dimension. Let me say one more before I conclude. Again, one of the things that brings the husband and wife closer and prevent divorce is when both of them are active. Is when the husband is not lazy. He works. He respects work. He respects his job. You know what is the ugliest thing in religion in the eyes of God? What is the ugliest thing? You know that? Huh? The ugliest thing is for a person who's physically able. He has a good physical structure. He has good brain, but he's unemployed. He doesn't have a job. God hates to see such a person. Now, sometimes a person does not find a job because of physical disability, no problem. He deserves help. Sometimes mental disability, sometimes psychological disability. He has depression, he has anxiety, something happened to him, an accident. Sometimes he searches for a job he cannot find. He goes for interviews, he gets rejected, he tries his best, he goes every morning. No problem. I'm not speaking about those people. I ask God to help those people. But sometimes nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong. Physically fit, mentally fit, no disability, no problem, no hindrance, no anything. And then he doesn't work. And he wants to survive on welfare. This is not good. This is not good for your dignity. Work is a dignity, not just income, not just money. Work is an honor. You know how many wives they say, my husband does not even try to find a job. He's laying on the couch watching television. He's doing nothing. This is not good, my friends. And that would lead into divorce. On the other hand, there are some husbands who are workaholic 24/7. His family doesn't see him. His children do not see him. His wife does not see him. His parents do not see him. That is not good too. Be moderate. God loves to see you working, struggling. You know, one of the ways that God forgives His servants, not only when they stand for a prayers or fast in Ramadan. The hadith says, when God sees you leaving your house early morning, going to your office, going to your field, going to your hospital, going to your school, working hard, coming at the end of the day tired because you have achieved something. God says this servant deserves afu, deserves forgiveness. He's a hard-working person. He's taking care of his family. Not only taking care of his family, he's taking care of other people's family too. This is how God wants to see us. Struggling in this life, working. Sometimes the house also has to be in order. You know, the husband works outside the house. In some families, the wife also works outside and sometimes inside the house. In the same way that I say to the husband to take care of your work outside, I say to the wife, take care of your house. The house has to be clean. The house has to be in order. The house has to be nice, neat. Some of these homes are a jungle, believe me, a jungle. You don't even want to go inside. This is not good. This is also one of the reasons of divorce and disintegration of the families. Sometimes the husband does not live up to his responsibilities. Sometimes the wife does not live up to her responsibilities. She doesn't do anything. Nothing. She doesn't even clean her children. Why do we like to go to a hotel sometimes once in a while? Because in the hotel, beautiful bed, nice sheets, clean bathroom, clean couch. Everything is nice, tidy, clean, neat. Your house has to be better than a hotel. And this is not only the responsibility of the wife. This is a shared responsibility. I always say the best friendship begins when the husband and the wife, they wake up together from bed. For Salatul Fajr, they wake up together. If they can pray Jama'ah, but remember, always men are first, unfortunately. But by the way, a husband can stand next to his wife, or the wife can stand next to her husband. She doesn't have to be behind him. She doesn't have to be. When it comes to the husband, she can stand next to her husband and pray. She doesn't have to step back. She steps back with her father, with her son, with her brother, with her imam, another imam. But with her husband, when she stands, they can stand together, inshallah. But don't touch each other, leave each other alone. So, when they begin their day, the friendship begins when they do their bed, they make up the bed together. They help each other. This is how the journey begins. Both of them are responsible. Take care of your cleanliness. Sometimes we take our spouses for granted. We beautify ourselves. We put lots of perfume for strangers, but when it comes to our spouses, we neglect them. Because, well, she's my wife, she's stuck with me. Even if I smell bad, she's stuck with me. This is not good. This is not good. You have to beautify yourself for your spouse. Some women, they do not wear makeup for their husbands, but they put heavy makeup for others outside. Your husband is your friend. He's your partner. He's the one you are living with him. You have to look attractive for your husband. Don't take him for granted. Neither the husband should take his wife for granted. One day the Prophet was surrounded by people who did not take a shower, maybe for some days. The Prophet said, "What's this? Go back home. نظفوا أنفسكم. Clean yourself. Clip your nails. Brush your hair. Clean your teeth. The malaika, they are not coming to the mosque because of you. Because when you don't take care of yourself, your hygiene, your health, your beauty, you have to take care of yourself." The Prophet himself, imagine, he's the leader. He's very busy. But before he leaves the house, he would brush his hair. He had long hair, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would beautify himself for his wife, for his companions, for the guests. He's a lesson for us. In his purity, in his nadafa, in his hygiene, he's number one. We have to learn this in our homes, in our centers, in our restaurants, in our communities, in ourselves. These things that bring people together, believe me, they are small things. They are small things. But at the end of the day, they make a huge impact. When you put them together, it's a huge impact. Family is number one in Islam. And Imam Hussein, look at this tent. This tent is a symbolic tent. It's a reference to a young man who was only 13 or 14 years old. His name is Al-Qasim ibn al-Hasan. See this beautiful tent? It's symbolic for his wedding. Though, of course, he did not get married, and there is no substantiated news, akhbar, transmissions that he was about to get married. But these are stories. But this is also something good. That in the life of Imam Hussein, in the company of Imam Hussein, in the family of Imam Hussein, marriage was important. Institution of marriage was sacred. Prepare your children, prepare your daughters, prepare your sons to be good fathers and mothers, to be responsible husbands and wives. This is the symbolism of one of those young ones whose mother was preparing him to begin a new life. His mother's name is Ramla. And she aspired, every father, my friends, every parent, they aspire to see the wedding of their children. This is the dream of every father and every mother. Not just to see their weddings day, but to see their offspring, to see their grandchildren. Sometimes you enjoy your grandchildren more than enjoying your own children. And the family of Imam Hussein is no different. Al-Qasim alayhi salam, he's the son of Imam Hassan. When his father died, he was only 4 years old. Only 4 years old. So he went into the custody of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein took care of him because he's orphan. He was attached to his uncle Hussein alayhi salam. He treated him like his own son. He took care of him. Imam Hassan on the day of Ashura had 4 children participated in the battle of Ashura. 4 children. Abdullah al-Akbar, the junior. Abdullah al-Akbar, the senior. Abdullah al-Asghar, junior. Al-Qasim, and another one. 3 of them were killed. Abdullah al-Akbar, Abdullah al-Asghar, Al-Qasim. They were killed. The other one was wounded and he survived. His uncles, they came, they evacuated him from the battlefield. They took him back to Medina. He became one of the great scholars, ulama. But the three of them were killed, including Al-Qasim alayhi salam. Imam Hussein turns to Qasim. He says to him, Bunayya Qasim, كيف الموت عندك? He was testing him, testing his resolve, testing his intelligence, testing his faith. You know what was the answer, my friends? The answer was, Wallahi ya am Aba Abdullah, fi nusratika ahla min al-asr. If I get killed, if I give my life, my soul, my blood in your way, which is the way of Islam, the way of truth and justice, then death for me is sweeter than honey. Sweeter than honey. I'm not afraid of death. He's only 13 years old. Our children, they are busy with their games, playing games at home. Qasim ibn al-Hasan, he looks forward to the day of judgment. He looks forward to help and support the Islamic faith. His uncle Hussein alayhi salam. So he came asking for permission. Aba Abdullah, إذن لي في الخروج. Give me this chance, give me this privilege to carry my sword and defend your camp. Imam Hussein would say to him, no, Ya Qasim, you are a trust, amana. My brother Hassan left you as an amana with me. I have to take care of you. Until the last time, Qasim came with a piece of paper. It was tied to his arm. He gives this piece of paper to his uncle Hussein. He says, Ya Aba Abdullah, Iqra, read this note. This is my father's handwriting. So Imam Hussein looks at these notes. He finds his brother Hassan writes to his Qasim in his will, Bunayya Qasim, إذا اشتدت عليك الأمور فعليك بنصرة عمك الحسين. If you come one day, if you are distressed one day, you find difficulties one day, then the only solution is to stand with your uncle Hussein and defend him. At that time, Hussein accepted to give him, he agreed to give him permission to go, but he hugged him before he left, and they cried for some times, their tears rolling down. And then Al-Qasim alayhi salam carried his sword and he went into the battlefield wearing pairs of sandals. He was fighting, إن تنكروني فأنا نجل الحسن سبط النبي المصطفى والمؤتمن هذا الحسين كالأسير المرتهن بين أناس لا سقوا صوب المزن اسم الله عليه فرع بالذوايب قمر لكن بليل الشعر غايب. He was fighting. He was a brave. He didn't care about the multitudes of the army surrounding him. All of a sudden, while he was fighting, his sandals snapped. So he bends down to fix his sandal. While he was bending عندما انحنى ليسوي شسعا عليه وإذا بعمر بن نفيل الأزدي هجم عليه وضربه بالسيف على رأسه. Amr ibn Nafil, an enemy soldier, attacked him, assaulted him with his sword. He struck him on his head. He fell down, face down to the earth. نادى عماه أبا عبد الله عليك مني السلام. My last greeting with you, Ya Aba Abdullah. Oh uncle, adrikni, I want you to come to my rescue. Imam Hussein carried his sword and he was fighting to defend him. He reached him when the dust settled. من جلت الغبرة إلا والقاسم يفحص برجليه وعمه يقف على رأسه. Imam Hussein stood upon his head. He said to him, بني قاسم يعز على عمك أن تدعوه فلا يجيبك وأن يجيبك فلا يعينك وأن يعينك فلا يغني عنك. It is with much pain and suffering that you call upon your uncle to save you, but he cannot save you. He cannot save your life. Bunayya Qasim, soon you're going to meet your father Hassan alayhi salam. بكى وناداه يا جاسم شبيدي، بكى وناداه يا جاسم شبيدي، ريت السيف قبلك حز وريدي، يهون لكم تخلوني وحيدي، وعلى خيمي عمي الخيل تفتر.